one of the biggest challenges we have is that the world is simply built from a male perspective. And lots of things are written and created through the male gaze. And if you look at what men and women consume about 50-50 in terms of male created, male led, male designed content, alongside female created, led and designed content. Men, on the other hand, are likely to over-index on male created, male led, male designed content, which means that we often don't read, hear, watch, listen to things from a female perspective, which means that, generally speaking, we lack a bit of that gendered intelligence because we just don't have that second perspective, which can be really powerful. And you ask anyone to look at the bookshelf, especially men, it's full of men. Business books, historically, almost always written by men. And it's just even the way that we operate in business is very male normative. So that creates a gap before we even realise it. I mean, secondly, if you think about the stories that have come out about very powerful men in recent times, and then we're like, okay, sometimes they've passed away before this has actually got to where they need to get to because of the NDAs, because of this. But it's not just this one powerful person who's created this completely toxic trail of destruction. They're held up by a whole system and structure around them that has allowed them to facilitate this abuse for years. It doesn't come out when it's one woman. It takes 10 women to report it before it even gets taken seriously. Because we're in a world, again, where not only is the content consumption skewed, but the history books are. And if you look at history books, it literally is his story. It's headshots of men who've created things, created innovations, started wars, broken records, kind of created empires. And where are the women in the history books? Well, unless they were a queen, they were always either a mistress or a witch, and probably got beheaded. And it sets an example of who gets listened to, who gets platformed, and that still exists in society today, where women are simply less likely to be listened to, less likely to be believed, and just less likely to be taken seriously. And that's ingrained into all of us, including women themselves, because we swim in the very sea that's been created for us. And if you look back on some of the things that were on, say, television or in the newspapers when we were children, you look now and you kind of got, geez. But that's what we were surrounded by. Our parents talked about that kind of stuff. And actually, that's the rivers that we've swam in. And all that water's absorbed into us, and that's who we are. So we've all got lots of internalized stuff that we all actively need to work on.